Nobody Greater Podcast. Welcome back. This is Chris again, back with more information. Breaking news. Kyler Murray signs a 5-year, $230.5 million deal with $160 million guaranteed on that deal. And it will also make him now the second highest paid quarterback in the NFL with 46.1 per year. I don't think that's a good deal for the Cardinals. Yeah, they got their franchise quarterback, and they got someone that they believe will take them to the Super Bowl. But in my personal opinion, I don't think Kyler Murray or the Cardinals, within this contract, the 5 years, I don't believe they will get to the Super Bowl. I mean, anything can happen. You can have all the right pieces on your team, but a lot has to go right in order for a team to get to the Super Bowl. So we'll see with that. The jury's still out on that. If they make it to the Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years, I will be the first one to come on here and apologize. But I just don't think the Cardinals are going to be able to win a Super Bowl with Kyler Murray as their quarterback. Nothing to sneeze at with Kyler Murray. I think he's a nice quarterback. I just don't think he's going to get them over the hump. Because like I said, a lot has to go right in order for that to be the case. Last year, he finished with 69.2% as far as his completion percentage, which to me is very high. I think that's very good. He's almost completed 3 out of every 4 of his passes, so that's very good to me. He finished with about 3,800 passing yards, 3,787 to be exact. That was 14th out of all quarterbacks. He also finished with 24 touchdowns, which was 12, and 10 interceptions, which was tied for 9th. So just based off that alone, he finished about average out of all the quarterbacks in the NFL. A down year because him and his receivers and a lot of his teammates were injured throughout the year. So I can't really get on him about where he finished at statistically because I watched the game, so I know that he was injured. I know that his wide receivers were injured. We all know in the postseason last year he flamed out in the very first game against the now we know Super Bowl champions Los Angeles Rams. And in any other situation, I'll say that's nothing to be mad about, nothing to hang your head low down about because, you know, it is the Rams and they won the Super Bowl. But in this case, I do got to take off a little credit for Kyler Murray just because the Rams are his divisional, opponent. Like, you can lose to anybody else, but I just feel like you shouldn't lose to somebody in your division. That should be the last game you would want to lose is somebody in your division, especially when that team in your division went on to win the Super Bowl. So we all know what happened in that game. We finished with a 55% completion percentage, 137 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. So it was a horrible off night for him, the wrong night to have an off night. And, that's been pretty much his track record since he came into the league with the postseason. The Cardinals haven't really gotten that far. And I don't think they will get that far in the next 5 years. I mean, you can always add the right pieces, but when you got your quarterback as the second highest paid quarterback in the NFL, that's a big chunk of your salary cap that you got to devote to him and him alone. That's why I don't know what's the situation with Lamar Jackson. I think because, we all know he still hasn't re-signed with the Ravens, and he's representing himself. So that's what's kind of been taking the deal a lot longer than what it should. Him and the Ravens just working it out. But if you ask me, he got a lot more accomplishments than Kyler Murray. I mean, let's just state the obvious. He got 1 MVP. Kyler Murray got 0. So as far as I'm concerned, if Kyler Murray is going to be the second highest paid quarterback and he got no MVP, not that many playoff wins, and he hasn't made it to the Super Bowl, then I can only imagine what the Ravens are going to have to pay Lamar Jackson, because we all know the Browns gave Deshaun Watson a 5-year, $230 million $1 million deal, all guaranteed. And we all know what's happening with Deshaun Watson right now. the clown show, the Browns. I don't know why they gave him that much money. A lot of owners in the NFL have soured on that just because that raises the stake for any other quarterback or any other situation, like a Justin Herbert, like a Joe Burrow, like a let me give you another example. Maybe even a Mac Jones eventually. We got all these younger quarterbacks coming up that, you know, if they perform well and they get more accomplishments than a Kyler Murray, or they get an MVP like a Lamar Jackson, these teams are gonna have to pay upwards to $50 million per year on a quarterback alone. That's not including any other position on that team, just a quarterback alone. But him and Lamar Jackson got pretty much similar stats. He got about 1,800 to 2,000 more passing yards, but the completion percentage is around the same. Lamar Jackson got 14 more touchdowns with him, so 84 touchdowns instead of the 70 with Kyler Murray. But will surprise people. Lamar Jackson got 3 less interceptions for the people who are saying he can't throw. He got more touchdowns, passing touchdowns, not including rushing, more passing touchdowns and less interceptions than Kyler Murray. So that just, if you ask me, that makes a better case for Lamar Jackson. I hope he get his money that he's guaranteed. I hope the Ravens don't try to lowball him. Or if they do, give him a contract that's less than Kyler Murray, which I feel like is just blasphemous. Like, if you got the Browns, who's going to pay $230 million all guaranteed, and you got the Cardinals, who are going to give $160 million guaranteed, but $230.5 million fully on the contract if he plays it out, and he's going to be the second highest paid quarterback, and neither one of those two quarterbacks got an MVP, and Lamar Jackson does. Granted, it was a few years ago. He still got that MVP. Not every team can say that they got an MVP winning quarterback. So I think that's the person we need to be watching now. Now that Kyler Murray, the chips have fell in place, and Kyler Murray got his contract. Now we need to see what are the Ravens going to do. Hey, the Cardinals just made a chess move. Now it's time for the Ravens to make their chess move. But that's just my take on the situation. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.